Another Friday afternoon brings more Baylor baseball to Baylor Ballpark. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio. Foster Nicholas, Joe Pratt, Aidan O'Connor, and Aidan Pham all with you today from the ballpark. Bears and Bulldogs first meeting in the Diamond, a revenge tour for Enzo Apodaca, and a lot to play for the Green and Gold off to their first undefeated start since 2019. Only the third time since 2013, Joe, that this team has started the season 4-0, and a good shot to keep that rolling against a 1-2 Bulldogs team heading into Waco.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a Gonzaga team that's coming off a weekend, like you mentioned. They're only able to come away with one win, and it's a team that really struggled on the road a year ago. They only won 21 games, and a really difficult or a struggling road record for Gonzaga where they won under 10 games. They went 14-10 in conference play, though, so finished the season very strong. They struggled in non-conference play, which is where we're at right now, and as mentioned, on the road. But this is a lineup that's strong throughout and can still do some damage.
Yeah, Baylor head coach Mitch Thompson mentioned the weather kind of favors Gonzaga and where they play in the West Coast Conference. But with Baylor's pitching staff thriving last weekend and Ethan Calder getting the start today, a guy who struck out 13 in 5 innings of work on opening day, being back out on the mound, he's very comfortable in this revamped pitching staff to get it done today for the Bears. Defensive alignment for Baylor today, Ethan Calder and Cortland Castle, the battery mates on the infield for the Bears. Gavin Brzezowski at first, Jack Little at second, Tyreek Kemp at short, and at third base, Pearson Rybach. Outfield left to right, Wesley Jordan, Ty Johnson, and Enzo Apodaca as we're gearing up for first pitch. Joe, bring me the Gonzaga lineup.
Leading off, Tai Yakamoto. He's playing shortstop, the leadoff hitter for the fifth straight game, for these Bulldogs. Batting second, Josh Hankins, the third baseman. Third, Tommy Eisenstadt, the first baseman. In the cleanup spot, Vincent Temesvari, who's playing left field. Get you the rest of the lineup after the first pitch in just a moment.
Senior shortstop, Tai Yakamoto, left-handed batting all the way back in the box. Calder works from the stretch, first pitch underway, and finds the outside corner for strike one. Calder again. He'll work quickly. Developed a slider in the offseason, a 4-pitch mix that worked really well against Youngstown State. Deals again to the plate. This one misses outside, 1-1.
After Yakamoto and the rest of these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Hudson Shoup, Mikey Bell, Reese Sherman, Max Coop, and Sam Stern doing the catching. Left
on left, 1-1. Dribbled foul down the first base line. 1-2 advantage for the Baylor lefty. Again, Calder, he had a curveball. He had a changeup last year, along with high 80s fastball sitting about 87, 89. And then with Sean Snedeker coming in here, developed a slider. Pitch on the way, this one too far outside, missing at 78. It's 2-2. But Joe, you can't really underestimate getting 13 strikeouts of the 15 outs on opening day, and a lot of that can be attributed to having confidence in a brand new pitch that's not on film.
That's true. I mean, the first time that you're really using the pitch in action.
Dribbled to short here on the 2-2 count. Tyreek Kemp there. He'll fire it sidearm to Brzezowski and makes the play for the first out in the inning.
I think it's a testament to, the talent of this team. He is confident enough to throw that pitch even after throwing it all fall, so is able to kind of continue to get comfortable. And it's also something that Snedeker brought up this offseason where pitchers really need to work on developing new pitches in the offseason if they can, if they're not rehabbing from injury, working on mechanical things. And that's clearly something that Calder was committed to.
Josh Hankins digs in. First pitch to him misses low. That's ball one. And this at Baylor Ballpark, and in particular being a Baylor pitcher, you can kind of work any pitch into the mix as it's a pitcher's favored ballpark. Not a lot of balls flying out of here. This one fouled straight back into the netting, 1-1. So a slider in particular, sure, it may get, some undercuts, fly balls to the outfield, but that wasn't something Snedeker was worried about.
Yeah, it's true, especially a day like today. I mean, not too much wind, not much help against or with the ball, which, it's a big ballpark.
1-1 pitch grounded to third. Rybach over there will fire across the diamond for the second out of the inning. Hard contact at that for both of the first 2 groundouts, but Ethan Calder getting 2 outs nonetheless.
Yeah, not doing it with the strikeout this time around, but still inducing some strong contact, but nothing too difficult for the left side of that infield to handle. Tyreek Kemp and now Pearson Rybach kind of starting to become that everyday guy at third over Hunter Toplansky.
Tommy Eisenstadt, 3-hitting first baseman, digs in. He watches the first pitch miss, low and outside, ball 1. Baylor baseball inducing 46 strikeouts through the first 4 games of the season, most to open a season since, again, that 2013 campaign. Here comes Calder to the plate once more, fouled straight back. We've got a 1-1 count. Infield shaded slightly to the left in this left-on-left matchup. Jack Little at second base, both feet on the outfield grass. Pitch on the way, inside corner, called strike with a fastball. It's 1-2. Eisenstadt off to a .250 start, 3 hits, a double, a run batted in. One of the go-to bats in this Gonzaga lineup, still looking to get started. Pitch on the way, line drive, first base side. Brzezowski's there. That will end the inning with a hot shot to first. 1-2-3 first inning for the Bears. They'll be up to the plate after this. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
Bottom of the first inning here at Baylor Ballpark, just getting underway. Baylor Gonzaga, first time in program history on the diamond. Bears getting their first crack at right-handed starting pitcher Gabe Brabeck. Brabeck, a transfer from Lynn Benton Community College, where he struck out 99 batters in 72 innings with an ERA at 1.11. He'll face a tough Baylor lineup where the first 4 hitters all hitting above 400, including the leadoff second baseman Jack Little at 500. Little is followed by Enzo Apodaca and Wesley Jordan. Get you the rest of the lineup after the first pitch, which is on the way and taken too far inside for ball 1. Hunter Simmons does the cleanup duties as the designated hitter for Baylor. Gavin Brzezowski in the 5-hole. Ty Johnson batting 6. Pearson Reebok, Cortland Castle, and Tyreek Kemp round out the lineup. 1-0 pitch on the way to Little is taken on the outside corner for strike 1. Evens the count up. Brabeck, a tall right-hander, he'll work from the windup, bring the glove behind his head and deal home. Another one right over the heart of the plate for strike 2. Bears wearing their home green pinstripes with the BU logo on the chest. Baylor written out all the way through. Green helmet, and everyone long sleeve undershirts today. 1-2 pitch, bounces in the dirt, but Little swings, fire down to first base for the drop third strike, and the Bears are retired for the first out. Something that was uncharacteristic from this top half of the lineup, Joe. What were those strikeouts, at least early on? Just less than, looks like 9 of them in the starting lineup across 4 games.
It's amazing to think that this is a team that struggled so much with striking out at the plate a lot, a year ago, the past 2 years, but they've just been putting the ball in play at an outrageous clip. I mean, 3 hits from the guy who just led off a second ago on Tuesday night, but tough start today. First
pitch to the left-handed right fielder, Enzo Apodaca, taken in the dirt, ball 1. One of the big storylines this weekend, Enzo Apodaca, he transferred from Gonzaga to Baylor prior to last season. As the 1-0 pitch on the way, line drive, right center field. That one should get down, at least a single for Apodaca. He'll take a turn, quickly recovered by Coop in center field. He'll fire it in, and a 1-out single for Enzo Apodaca. Again, a guy who hit 300 for the Bears last year, all Big 12 honorable mention, or should have been. Now off to a 400 start this year and already tearing up his former squad.
It was kind of an uncharacteristic start to the season for Apodaca. I mean, I think his first 5 at-bats, he only reached base one time, which, looking back at last season, I mean, he probably didn't do that any times a year ago, and to do that to start off the season, but now he's back up to form.
Wesley Jordan swinging first pitch, fouls one down the right field line. It will drop out of play despite the pursuit from Stem. Like you had mentioned, Joe, Mitch Thompson actually talked about that. He said if our lineup can have success without Enzo Apodaca, he can't even imagine what it will do when he comes back. And you saw that towards the end of the Youngstown State series with 28 runs on Saturday alone in a doubleheader.
It's a different team when he's at his best compared to when he's not, and they're so much better.
0-1 outside corner called strike to Wesley Jordan, 0-2.
But I think it can set a tone for the rest of the lineup, just the way that he battles up there and works and counts.
Especially being a contact hitter and then leading into Jordan and Simmons, who've got tons of power. 0-2 pitch to Jordan here, takes this one in the dirt, ball 1. Wesley Jordan hitting .563 so far this season, 9 hits and 16 at-bats, 8 runs batted in, 1 home run as well. Brayback brings the glove to the belt. He'll stare home, fire away. Runner fakes a steal as the ball's a bit too low. It'll be 2-2. Jordan wearing the number 33. Get back to Gabe Brayback. He was one of the biggest transfer pitchers in the WCC before coming to Gonzaga. 2-2 on the way. Fouled down the first base line out of play. It's 2-2. Brayback working mid-80s. Does feature a changeup. This one, the changeup right there, 76 miles an hour at the chest, gets Wesley Jordan under it. A swinging third strike, and the Bears have 2 down and a runner on first.
Yeah, that's one that he definitely doesn't want to have to swing at, but it's going to end up in the zone either way. A perfect pitch from Brayback. You just can't get a piece of it, and we just saw him walking back to the dugout saying it's that changeup low and away to these righties that are getting him, but that time it was up and inside.
First pitch to Hunter Simmons. He takes this one low and away. Again, a changeup. It's a called first strike. Simmons hitting .600. His return from an injury-riddled 2024 campaign where he played just 5 games before missing the rest of the season. Already off to a fast start. 0-1 pitch here, swing and a miss. Got another changeup, expected fastball, and was way out in front. It's 0-2. Infield will slightly shift towards the third base line. Shortstop Sayuku Moto's got both feet on the outfield grass. Second baseman Shoop is playing 2 or 3 feet to the right of the second base bag. Apodaca being held on at first. Again, still scoreless here, bottom of the first inning. Bears have 2 outs and a runner on first and an 0-2 count on Hunter Simmons. Brayback will bring the ball to the belt. Fire away. This pitch gets away from the catcher. It'll go all the way to the backstop. Apodaca rounds second. He looks to third. He'll hold up there. Wild pitch thrown by Brayback. Advances a Baylor runner into scoring position. Bears had a few of those this weekend and Tuesday night against UTSA. On the benefiting end of errors, wild pitches, free passes, Baylor will take any base they can get, especially with a power hitter and a contact guy at the plate in Hunter Simmons. Brayback checks second, fires home. This pitch low and inside, nearly got away from the catcher Sherman again. Instead, he scoops it and back to a 2-2 count with 2 down. With the shift, Shoop able to hold on Apodaca at second, short 2-step lead. Brayback looking to work quickly, pitch clock down to 5. He deals home, Apodaca fakes a steal, pitch skips up to the plate, it's 3-2. And they've called strike 3. Looked like he checked his swing or went around. Initially, no call from behind the plate.
Looked deep in the dirt. He had to have gone around on the check swing, but looks like that's the end of the inning.
Yeah, so after the appeal, Hunter Simmons called out on strikes, and we head to the second inning, still scoreless. Questionable call, but a call nonetheless. It's still scoreless at Baylor Ballpark. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Calder and the Bears strutting out for the second inning here at Baylor Ballpark. 38 degrees here on Friday afternoon. Every single Bear on the infield, outfield, even the bench, wearing a hoodie or an undershirt at the least. Aidan and I here on Tuesday night. Weather was sitting low 30s, wind chills making it feel like 15 degrees, and Baylor second baseman Jack Little was in short sleeve shirt and hit a ball off the batter's eye with 3 hits in that game, but Mitch Thompson said he wanted an undershirt on today at the very least. Pick up the action here. Again, top of the second. Ethan Calder has a strike on the first baseman, Vincent Temesveri. Next pitch to him, misses high and away, ball 1. Temesveri hitting 182. Power hitting right-handed bat all the way back in the box against Ethan Calder. Baylor lefty working from the stretch, sets the belt, fires home. This one missing outside. It's 2-1. Calder set a career-high 13 strikeouts again on opening day. It was just his 4th career start, entrusted with that opening weekend role. 2-1 pitch, outside corner is a called strike from home plate umpire Matt McKendry. It's 2-2. Again, 38 degrees today. Wind currently blowing from dead center field to left field. No chills towards the plate. 2-2 pitch, inside corner, called strike 3. Rack it up, first K for Ethan Calder here on Friday afternoon.
Fastball up and inside, 87 miles an hour. Nothing Temesveri can do with that pitch. And he continues his struggles to start off this season, falling back to 167, but now it's going to be one of the top hitters in this Gonzaga lineup, and Hudson Shoup digging in.
Yeah, not just one of the top hitters in the lineup, but the West Coast Conference altogether. Left-handed second baseman digs in, takes a first pitch just off the outside corner for ball 1 at 88. Velocity not an issue right now for Ethan Calder, but again back on Shoup. 1 home run, a couple of runs batted in. Last year, an all-conference selection. Pitch on the way, fouled straight back, 1-1. Bulldogs wearing the Gonzaga logo on the hat, all blue. Keeping it with a gray road jersey with Gonzaga lettering across the chest. Pitch on the way, curveball. That one breaks too far outside, 2-1. Red lettering for the Bulldogs. Number on the back, no last names. Bears do. Calder again working quickly. 20-second pitch clock in effect. Throws home, inside corner, called strike 2. It's 2-2. Hudson Shoup all the way back in the box, crowding the plate, brings a white bat above his ear, flies this one to center field. Ty Johnson going to roam after it. It'll get down. Leadoff single for Hudson Shoup and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Throw in by Johnson, gets away from Little at second base, thinking about advancing with Shoup, but he will retreat back to the bag. Leadoff single, Ethan Calder gets the ball back. Saw a little bit of that in warm-ups today, Joe, was just the errant throws, especially with the wind and weather. Particularly home to second, that one, though, from center to second.
Yeah, I saw some defensive miscues during the weekend series against Youngstown State. Of course, the offense made up for those mistakes, but in closer games, I mean, those things come back to bite you.
First pitch to Mikey Bell, a high pop-out, center field and shallow. Johnson calling for it and making the play in front of Jack Little out on the grass. 1 down.
I think that was an example of what you talked about last inning, Foster, the slider low in the zone. Players get underneath it, pop it up. A relatively easy play for the center fielder, Ty Johnson, but that's just a great way to give up a base runner and do some weak contact and pick up a solid out. And now 2 gone in the inning, a chance to get out of it.
Yeah, 2 outs in the inning. Strikeout single, and then a shallow fly out brings up Reese Sherman. 500 hitting catcher digs in. First pitch swinging, ground ball to short. Chopper fielded by Kemp. He'll fire it across the diamond, and Gavin Brzezowski at first to retire the side. No damage done after 1 hit in the inning. We're still scoreless heading to the bottom of the second. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
5, 6, and 7 due up in the order for the Baylor Bears here in the bottom of the second inning. Thanks for tuning in to Baylor Lariat Radio. Foster Nicholas, Joe Pratt, Aidan Pham, Aidan O'Connor here with you today in the visitors booth at the Baylor Ballpark. Sitting 38 degrees, but keeping plenty warm here inside. Someone else who's already off to a hot start is Gabe Braybeck, right-handed pitcher for Gonzaga. Struck out the side in the first inning, got a check swing from Hunter Simmons to end the frame, and then a couple of strikeouts swinging from Jack Little and Wesley Jordan. Gavin Brzezowski, Ty Johnson, and Pearson Reebok will look to break that trend. But again, Braybeck, a guy who at community college last year, highly touted transfer after striking out 99 in 72 innings as a starting pitcher, gets the call on Friday night for the Bulldogs. Didn't see any action last week. This is his first appearance of the season, but just trying to get fully healthy before coming out and dealing on the mound, and he's certainly done that so far. Gavin Brzezowski going to start off the inning for the Bears. 2:22 start to the season. 3 runs scored, 1 run batted in. Returning from a season-ending injury he suffered a year ago as the opening day first baseman. And he'll take the first pitch of the inning high, 1-0. Joe Braybeck, almost a similar look to Ethan Calder. Calder will work from the stretch. This righty will work from the windup, but velocity is not too overpowering. It's just location and movement as this 85-mile-an-hour fastball strikes the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, similar 3/4 arm slot delivery as well. Like you said, first base side of the rubber, and pretty fluid standard movement to home plate.
He misses again low. This one a breaking ball at 77. It's 2-1.
It shows these guys not really trying to blow it past guys, but like you mentioned, just trying to hit spots.
Infield backs up, playing deep. Fastball comes and misses outside. It's 3-1. Not a tight shift for Gavin Brzezowski that he saw against Youngstown State. Gonzaga playing him straight up now, shifting towards the right as I say that. Pitch on the way. This one taken low. Ball 4. It was interesting when they were throwing the off-speed pitch, you saw the third baseman and shortstop in Hankins and Yukumoto shift to the left almost as the pitch was being delivered, and then they just got a fastball right there. And that left side of the infield took about 3 or 4 steps to the right as the ball was coming out of Braybeck's hand. Ultimately just playing the timing of Gavin Brzezowski, but none of those in the zone, so he's on first to open the frame, and Ty Johnson digs in from the left side. Infield in as Johnson's speed threat shows bunt, puts this one down, but foul, 0-1. Baylor just trying to get on the scoreboard. Mitch Thompson not opposed to small ball. Johnson's the guy to do it. .357 batting average, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in. Transferred from McLennan Community College prior to the 2024 season where he led the Bears as their leadoff hitter, but versatility now has him in the 6-hole playing center field. Pitch on the way, looks to swing this time, but takes a pitch inside. It's 1-1. First and third baseman playing even with the bag, if not 2 steps in front. Brzezowski short lead at first. Johnson looks to swing and swings over the top of a breaking ball in the dirt. It's 1-2. Ty Johnson, not someone you'll see chase a whole lot for Baylor. Only 1 strikeout to 4 walks to open up the season. On par with his strikeout to walk ratio in his career. Next pitch gets away from the catcher. Brzezowski going to try and steal. Barehand pickup, fired a second, not in time. Gavin Brzezowski swipes the second base bag on a ball in the dirt. It was a pretty standard block from Sherman, who kept it in front, but Brzezowski deciding to turn on the wheels nonetheless, and he picks up his first stolen base of the season, as that one not far enough away from the catcher to really warrant a wild pitch. Now runner in scoring position, no outs. 2-2 pitch on the way. Johnson takes another pitch in the dirt. This one blocked, similar. Rolls a couple feet in front of the catcher, but he'll fire it back to the mound. Brzezowski, no movement, as we've got a payoff pitch on the way.
It really seems like Brabeck's struggling to hit the zone against these left-handed batters. He had no problem with Little and Simmons, but Little and Simmons, but now Ty Johnson really causing him issues.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss at an eye-level fastball. Ty Johnson caught chasing for the first out of the inning, 4th K for Gabe Brabeck. And you had mentioned it, Joe, there's 5 left-handed bats in the lineup for Baylor, something to account with the pitcher on the mound. That comes with added depth for Mitch Thompson and the Bears being able to favor their matchups. And right spot on. Pearson Reebok will dig in, another left-handed bat, starting at third base today. Back pick towards second base, not in time, nothing going. As we'll reset. Hawkins at third base for the Bulldogs is playing even with the bag and shading a little bit in, toes on the infield grass as the pitch on the way to the freshman third baseman. Line foul down the third base line. Out of play. It's 0-1 rather. Over the weekend, Reebok got his first career collegiate start. He's hitting .500, 2 for 4. Both of those hits being doubles. He's all the way back in the box, crowding the plate. Waves the bat above zero a few times, now stabilizes as the pitch reaches home. Inside corner, called strike 2. Brabeck up to 30 pitches in the contest. Stares down an 0-2 count and fires. Pitch dribbled up the middle. It'll get through into center field. Brzezowski waves on home. Ball gets away from the center fielder. Big turn by Reebok at first, but he'll retreat to the bag. After it's picked up by Coop, there's no play at the plate as Gavin Brzezowski comes home to score on an RBI single from Pearson Reebok.
Just a great piece of hitting by Pearson Reebok, not trying to do too much. Pounds that one straight back up the middle, 95.4 miles an hour off the bat. Brzezowski was initially held up at third, but since the center fielder, Coop, overran the baseball by a couple of feet, he was able to walk home. And now for the 5th game this season, Baylor takes that first lead.
Cortland Castle digs in from the right side. Baylor catcher watches this one fly above his helmet, 1-0. Castle, the only 4-year starter here at Baylor in the lineup. Or in the opening day start for the Bears behind the plate, as he has the past 3 seasons. Short lead at first for Reebok. He goes. Hit and run was on as Castle fouls the pitch straight back into the netting. 1-1. That was an eye-level fastball. But with the go sign on for Reebok, Castle was going to unload no matter where it was. That may be the only thing that this Baylor lineup doesn't consistently have, Joe, is the ability to steal bases without a hit and run or run and hit on. Reebok may be someone who can fix that this year for Baylor in his allotted starts. 1-1 pitch drops below the zone, 2-1.
That's a good point that you bring up. Baylor 4 for 5 so far in the season. Only Jack Little has been caught.
Time called. Cortland Castle going to use his only timeout of the at-bat. Brabeck will take his cap off, rub the sweat off his brow, now come back and engage with the rubber.
I guess it kind of forces you to be a little bit more creative if you're head coach Mitch Thompson. Got to call more bunt plays, try to advance guys over by way of the small ball rather than purely stealing bases. But with the way that Brabeck and Reese Sherman behind the plate haven't really been able to connect too fluidly so far today. A couple of wild pitches already.
High fly ball, right field here for Cortland Castle, but shallow. Second baseman and right fielder, some miscommunication before Shoop falls to his knees and Stem makes the play. Couldn't have been more than 10 feet from where the infield dirt drops off in the outfield, where the play was made by Stem, but Shoop didn't hear the call until it was just a bit too late. Nonetheless, it was a nice play by Stem with one of his own teammates at his feet. 2 outs in the inning. Bears do have a run on the board already. It's 1-0 Bears. And with 2 down, the 9-hitter Tyreek Kemp digs in from the left side. First pitch to him, fly ball, infield. That one a high fly. Tough play for the shortstop, but Yukimoto is going to find it in his glove for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Bears strike first. 1 run on an RBI single from Pearson Reebok as we head to the 3rd inning. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Bears strike first in a 3-game series between the Bulldogs and Baylor. Ethan Calder returns to the bump for his 3rd inning of work. Pearson Reebok getting that first base knock in. And we had just talked about the speed that you have on the left side of the infield with Pearson Reebok, with Tyreek Kemp. But there's a lot of power hitters and contact hitters in the lineup. Bears have been missing the stolen bases. And, Joe, you found something during the break to back that one up?
Yeah, that's right. After last season in the Big 12 standings, basically just in Big 12 play, Baylor is in the bottom 3 in stolen bases, only completing 39 stolen bases. They attempted under 60 bases, or stolen base attempts rather, where, you take a look at some other teams in the conference, 125 attempts, 163. So it's amazing to see, different philosophies and also, just different players that these programs have.
First batter in this inning is Max Coop, the 8-hitter, as he fouls the first pitch he sees down the third base line. 0-1. Coop playing center field. He's going to be followed by Sam Stem, the right fielder, and then Tayuku Moto flips the lineup card back at the 1-hole due up in this inning. 0-1 pitch to the plate, swing and a miss. Got a breaking ball and was a little bit too early. It's 0-2. Gonzaga not a team that will steal a whole lot of bases either. Through 3 games, 4 attempts and 1 successful stolen base. Calder sets at the belt, fires home. Pitch drops below the zone. It's 1-2, trying to get that strikeout pitch. Showing off the brand new breaking ball, but didn't get Coop to bite. That's something that we can look for the rest of the season. Obviously, extremely effective against Youngstown State. But that new and introduced breaking ball is now on tape. 1-2, swing and a miss. It worked right there. 70 miles an hour, cutting the cord. Calder was dealing in the high 80s with his fastball before finally pulling it at 70 and earning his second strikeout of the day.
That's just perfect sequencing right there. When we talk about adding a whole nother pitch to your repertoire, you can play multiple different pitches off of that 87, 89 mile an hour fastball, go to the slider in the high 70s, back to the curveball, and right there, just a perfect example of messing up the timing of the batter.
Left on left with Sam Stem swinging and missing at the first pitch fastball. Stem hitting 310 at-bats so far this season. Junior right fielder. A double, a triple, 3 strikeouts as well. Calder goes back to the heater but misses outside 1-1. Looking at the stats for Ethan Calder, the goal, of course, for Baylor is to fill up the strike zone, led the Big 12 in walks both of the past 2 seasons. Bullpen ERA was 2 points higher than just about every squad in the Big 12 if you combine those 2 years. This pitch misses outside 2-1. So the goal was for Mitch Thompson and Sean Snedeker to fill up the strike zone, and that's exactly what Ethan Calder gives you, 15 strikeouts to 1 walk, and almost a 12-to-1 ratio last year as well. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss at a high fastball. It's 2-2. Only went 5 innings in the season opener against Youngstown State. A major portion of that to, if he gets in a rhythm here, he can go deeper into the ball game. 2-2 pitch, skied out to center field. Ty Johnson took a couple steps in initially, now retreats back in, catches this one in rather routine center field area for the second out of the frame.
And more on the bullpen. Must be nice to have a lot more left-handed arms to go to now that you're Mitch Thompson. I mean, you look back 2 years ago in 2023, had just one left-handed pitcher out in the bullpen, and it was the man on the mound right now. Now he's your starting pitcher on Friday. Just amazing to think how far a lot of these players have come on top of Mitch Thompson's leadership.
Yukumoto sends 1-2 deep right field. First pitch swinging, and the third out of the inning falls into the glove of Enzo Apodaca a couple of feet in front of the warning track. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ethan Calder as we head to the bottom of the third. Bears still up 1-0. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
In-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Top of the order for the Baylor Bears here in the bottom of the third inning. Jack Little, Enzo Apodaca, and Wesley Jordan will have their second crack at tall right-handed starting pitcher Gabe Braybeck. For Braybeck, he has allowed the only run of the game, but in 2 innings allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, and then 4 strikeouts, one of which being Jack Little, who stands in at home. Braybeck back to the windup, fires home, pops foul. An 86-mile-an-hour fastball does Jack Little, so we've got an 0-1 count to open up the frame. The whole lineup's been hitting well for Baylor to open the season. Among players in the starting lineup, just 2 are hitting below 300. As Little swings and misses at a pitch high and inside, 0-2. Jack Little third on the ball club with a .476 batting average, 5 runs batted in. 3 doubles on the year as well. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses low, 1-2. And all the more impressive, Jack Little is doing this at the top of the lineup after missing an entire season in 2024, where he was injured a week before opening day as the expected starting second baseman. Gets that opportunity here, and he's made the most of it. Back to the fastball and a called third strike on the outside for Jack Little, but Gonzaga unable to fire the ball around the infield as the catcher fires it over the head of the third baseman Hankins. And we've got 1 down in the inning.
Didn't get it around the horn, but got the strikeout call.
A little more important, I guess.
Yeah. It's the second time today for Jack Little. We're talking last inning about Brabeck and his approach compared to being against righties and lefties.
Well, he does get a first pitch strike against Enzo Apodaca, but his at-bats with these left-handed batters have tended to be a whole lot longer. 0-1 count, deals home. This pitch misses low and away, 1-1. Apodaca with one of Baylor's 2 hits against the right-handed starter. Looped a single into right center field to open up the first inning. Pitch on the way to Apodaca, dribbled back towards the mound. Scooped up there by Brabeck, has to make a play quickly and does beat Apodaca by half a step at first base as the second out in the inning. Easy 1-3 putout, but Enzo Apodaca turning on the wheels in the cold weather, trying to make Gonzaga have it, and evidently they did.
Trying to make it as difficult as he could, but nice job by Brabeck to stay composed and deliver that baseball to the first base bag, and so far his smoothest inning of the game.
First pitch to Wesley Jordan, swing and a miss at a breaking ball below the knees. Earns a first strike. Wesley Jordan did go down by way of the K to open up that first inning. Pitch on the way, another swing and a miss at a breaking ball outside. It's 0-2. Just doesn't have the timing quite right, but it only takes one swing for Wesley Jordan to turn that around. 9 hits, 8 runs batted in, .529 batting average for the tall right-handed left fielder. 0-2, dribbled off his right ankle. A foul tip at the plate keeps the count alive. Jordan led the Bears in home runs last year. Earned an All-Big 12 nod, looking to do the same this year. Already on a couple award watch lists and the preseason All-Big 12 team. But he swings and misses at an 87-mile-an-hour fastball here as the 6th strikeout for Gabe Brabeck moves us on to the 4th inning. Bears still on top 1-0 here at Baylor Ballpark. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News. Stay informed and
finally below freezing here at Baylor Ballpark. First pitch was 38 degrees outside. We are sitting at 32 here at Baylor Ballpark. Wind chills moving from center field back down towards home plate now. Earlier on, a slight breeze towards left field, but Bears finding a way to stay warm. Pearson Reebok at third base wearing a hoodie underneath and also cap underneath his hat to keep his head warm. Rest of the outfield and infield for that matter, only wearing the long-sleeve Baylor undershirt. Ethan Calder on the mound having no issues as well, and probably the least beefed up in terms of layers for the Bears. Cortland Castle as well, similar look to Ethan Calder as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Bears are on top in this one, 1-0. Baylor 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for Gonzaga, no runs on 1 hit, and no errors for the Bulldogs. Visitors will have 2, 3, and 4 back up in their lineup, that being Josh Hankins, Tommy Eisenstadt, and Vincent Temesveri. Opening up with Josh Hankins, who dribbled the ball towards Reebok at first base, or rather at third base in the first inning. Digs back in, open stance, back in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch to him, taken on the outside corner. A little bit too outside, 1-0. Again, your umpiring crew for today: behind home plate, Matt McKendry; at first base, Chris Booker; second, Clay Park; and at third, Charles Oos. Pitch on the way, again missing outside, 2-0. This will be the 9th inning of work for Ethan Calder this year. As he enters the fourth inning, gets a ground ball towards Tyreek Kemp at short. Initially bobbles it, picks it up off the dirt, and fires to first in time to retire the first out of the inning. A hot shot off the bat of Hankins hit it at 102 miles an hour to Baylor shortstop, and Tyreek Kemp takes it off the chest in a textbook play of defense right there to retire that first out. Can't do it much better than that, Joe, especially with a ball hit that hard.
Kemp's quietly had a very strong start to the season. A lot of those plays can go overlooked at the end of the game, but not an easy play to make. As you mentioned, over 100 miles an hour off the bat, so it's nice to see him really settling in as that everyday guy at short.
First pitch to Eisenstadt missed low and away. Calder now stares back in, delivers home again, and this one also a bit too low, much to the chagrin of the Baylor faithful here. Crowd of at least 250 in the freezing temperatures. Blankets, blue, some green. Pitch on the way home. This one also too low, 3-0. But an even disbursement of Gonzaga and Baylor fans here at Baylor Ballpark. Pretty good showing considering the weather. Out in left field behind the fence. Soccer practice going on for Baylor women's soccer. As Calder deals home, gets that strike. It's 3-1. Eisenstadt lined out to Gavin Brzezowski to end a 1-2-3 first inning. Digs back in, awaits the 3-1, and pops it up to shallow center field. Tyreek Kemp called off by Ty Johnson, and the Baylor center fielder tracks it down about 15 feet from the infield dirt for the second out of the frame. Quick and easy for Ethan Calder. Only 42 pitches to get through 3 2/3 innings.
Done so hitting the strike zone a lot. 26 of those pitches for strikes, just 16 balls. Now a chance to close out a 9th straight scoreless frame.
Swing and a miss by Vincent Temesvari at the plate. It's 0-1. Temesvari, a victim of the strikeout in the second inning. Not crowding the plate this time as the pitch does find its way over. 0-2. We've seen just about every Gonzaga player with their toes on the chalk right up against home plate. Temesvari at least a step and a half back from there. Digs in again, dribbles this one to Kemp at short. Not hit as hard as earlier in the inning, instead picks it up on the run and fires to first for the third out of the inning. That marks the third 1-2-3 frame worked by Ethan Calder today as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Baylor still on top, 1-0. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Foster Nicholas, Joe Pratt, Aidan Pham, Aidan O'Connor, all with you here at Baylor Ballpark. Watching some Baylor baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio. Thanks for tuning in. Bears with a 1-0 lead, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the green and gold. A couple of runners left on board. For the Bulldogs, no runs, 1 hit, and that runner was stranded as well. 4, 5, and 6 due up in the lineup for the green and gold here in the bottom of the fourth inning, that being Hunter Simmons, Gavin Brzezowski, and Ty Johnson. Simmons, a .563 hitter, digs in, watches this pitch miss high. He was called out on strikes in his first at-bat. Not a guy who strikes out a whole lot. That was just his second strikeout of the year earlier on. Watches a breaking ball bend back into the zone, evens up the count 1-1. Braybeck working quickly, back out there again for his fourth inning of work, but misses outside. 2-1. While Ethan Calder is still under the 50 pitch mark, Gabe Braybeck just hit it right there. Braybeck will step off and regroup, his only time out of this at-bat. Hunter Simmons went right back into the batter's box the instant that Braybeck stepped off and hasn't moved since. Now they're ready for the pitch. It's on the way. Fouled straight back. 2-2. Simmons will regroup, take a few practice cuts. Bounces the silver bat off his right foot and digs back in.
Now 3-1. This is where you're really searching for a pitch to drive out of here if you're Hunter Simmons.
Braybeck in the windup. Pitch on the way. Dribbled down the third base line and curving towards the dugout. Foul. Count locked at 2-2. By the end of Saturday, Hunter Simmons had reached in an on-base percentage of .800. Down a little bit since then as he lines this one to third. Deep in the hole there, fired across the diamond, beating Hunter Simmons by a step. Hankins at third base with a nice play in the hole between short and third. Scooped it up on a couple of hops. Hot shot off the bat, but a first out nonetheless. That's contact that head coach Mitch Thompson liked enough to clap his hands. Tough out, but solid contact, something that's been tough to come by, especially in the cold weather, Joe.
Something we haven't really talked about is Gabe Braybeck, first career Division I appearance, and so far, so good.
Was a highly touted transfer for a reason, especially with his resume at the community college level, but again, hasn't missed a step. 1-0 pitch to Gavin Brzezowski, misses outside again, 2-0. So these left-on-right matchup woes still looming large for Gabe Braybeck. 6 strikeouts to 1 walk today, though, for the right-handed starting pitcher. Works from the windup, deals home. Brzezowski thought about swinging. It is called a strike at the plate. Braybeck working with a 3-pitch mix, getting that fastball early in the count before maneuvering to the breaking pitches. Goes breaking ball here, misses low. 3-1 to Gavin Brzezowski. Brzezowski walked, stole a base, and later scored for the Bears. Pitch on the way. Deep fly ball, right field. That one pushing towards the warning track. Out there on the track and making the play is Sam Stem. Solid contact for Brzezowski in the chilly weather, but didn't have enough with the wind pushing in towards home plate to warrant a round tripper, and we've got 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that's one you have to assume if it's April or May, it's carrying on out of here and making it a 2-0 ball game. But unfortunately, with these frigid conditions, the ballpark holds that one. Not much help from the wind as well, but that's the contact that you like to see from Gabe, or off of Gabe Braybeck, who's really not blowing it by these guys, but hitting his spots well.
First pitch to Ty Johnson, drops low, 1-0. And encouraging to see a guy with a 3-1 count not looking for a walk. That's something that Brzezowski in particular struggled with in the 2023 season, was just trying to get on base in any way possible that he'd let a very hittable pitch fly by him. Make solid contact there, but didn't see the results he wanted. 1-0 pitch swung on and missed by Ty Johnson. Evens up the count. Johnson struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Taps the bat on the plate, brings it behind his left ear, and digs back in. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Ty Johnson tied up in knots again. Braybeck just firing both fastball and changeup by this guy.
That's just a perfect pitch, dipping beneath the bat at just the right time.
1-2 pitch, chance to get out of the inning. Misses outside with the breaking ball. It's 2-2. Trying to get Johnson to chase, and not a bad idea after a couple swing and misses that weren't super close. From the windup, 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and Ty Johnson goes down by way of the K for the second time today. We move to the 5th inning. Bears still on top, 1-0. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News. Stay in
Ethan Calder back out on the bump for Baylor baseball here, working into the top of the fifth inning. Again, Ethan Calder only went 5 innings in his opening day start, where he threw 13 strikeouts in those 5 innings of work, kept his pitch count below 80. But Mitch Thompson wanting to see what the bullpen had against the Youngstown State team that wasn't super competitive and looked extremely overmatched in that first weekend. Wanted to get as many arms as you want out there, but in a 1-0 game, Joe, where you've only picked up 2 hits and allowed 1, got to assume Ethan Calder will work as much of this game as he can if he continues to look dominant on the mound.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to come down to every last batter, every last pitch. And with the way that Brabeck is throwing on the other side, Mitch Thompson, you want to keep your starter out there for as long as you can, continue to push the first-year Division I player, Brabeck, on the other side to try to continue to work deeper into this game. We'll see which manager decides to go to their bullpen first.
First pitch from Calder to Hudson Shoup is lined right up the middle, a base hit. Hot shot by Shoup at 92 miles an hour up the bat, earns a leadoff single, and the Bulldogs are threatening here in the top of the fifth.
Now, we talked about it earlier, can't keep a guy like Hudson Shoup quiet for too long. And that time, off the end of the bat, but simple piece of hitting, just lifts it straight up the middle, and just what Gonzaga needs, a leadoff base runner, their first of the game.
Yeah, a little bit of a shocker that Shoup is the guy hitting in the 5-hole. He's 2 for 2 today, and the only batter coming into the day with a batting average above 300 who had started all games. Pick off towards first base. Lethal move by Calder, but can't get Shoup. Calder led the Big 12s in pickoffs last year. Saw plenty of that in conference play as well as non-conference play. Calder able to hold on the runner with just a glance, fires back towards first again. Shoup dives back in safely, but you can kind of tell by the way that they take their lead. They take a 2-step lead, whereas they may take a 3 or 4 and take a first step towards second base before bouncing back. First pitch on the way to Mikey Bell is a called strike 1 at 85 miles an hour. Bell, 167 hitter who flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Shoup with a bigger lead at first, so Calder goes slide step. Pitch misses inside and bounces out of the glove of Cortland Castle. Recovers it quickly, though. No advance from the runner, and the 1-1 count at the plate stands.
Shoup 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts this past weekend at UC Davis. Calder stares to first, now deals home. High fly ball, deep center field. Ty Johnson retreating back a couple of steps in front of the warning track. He reaches and makes the play. Haven't been too many shots like that kind of defy the wind, but a breaking ball sent at 101 miles an hour out to center field almost did just that. Reese Sherman will dig in after the loud out with 1 down and a runner aboard. Hit a sharp ground out to Tyreek Kemp his last time up. First pitch, a called strike on the outside corner. Sherman with 5 hits coming into the Friday afternoon contest. Calder will back pick towards first base. Shoup won't even slide in there as he's upstanding. After the flyout, Ethan Calder lowering his ERA below 1. 0.96 through 9 1/3 on the season. Calder goes back to the fastball but misses outside to even the count at 1-1. No walks yet today for Ethan Calder, who has hammered the strike zone. 33 of his 51 pitches finding the red zone.
Bouncing ball third base side. It will scoop foul before Ethan Calder picks it up. Soft down the line, but no threat. 1-2 the count as Sherman jogs back from first base towards home plate.
Starting to see a bit more fight from these Gonzaga batters, working deeper into counts, fouling pitches off, making Calder work in this fifth inning.
Still no action in either bullpen from our vantage point right now. Again, first start of the year for Brayback, second start for Calder, so maybe a longer leash for the guy in green and gold. Pitch on the way, dribbled right back to Calder. He will have no play at second base, goes to first instead, and retires Sherman as the second out of the inning. Fooled the Bulldog catcher with the breaking ball and gets an easy out.
Yeah, I like that play from Calder there. Could have maybe tried to fire a strike to second, but you don't want to risk that ball sailing into center field. Just gets the easy out at first, and now Coop, who's still looking for his first hit on the season, is trying to extend the inning.
Yeah, an 0-for-8 start for the right-handed center fielder who struck out against Calder this first at bat. Deals home, called strike one on Max Coop. Pitch on the way, sent to center field. Ty Johnson stares it down. Average depth, a couple feet to his right. He'll squeeze the glove, make the play, and we head to the bottom of the fifth inning with the Bulldogs still scoreless. Bears are on top 1-0. Toss the play-by-play to Joe Pratt when we come back. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
We move into the bottom of the fifth inning from the Baylor Ballpark. 1-0 your score. It's the Bears lead, and Gabe Braybeck heads back out to the bump for a fifth inning of work. Ethan Calder just completing his fifth inning of work. So far, 10 innings to start off the 2025 campaign for Ethan Calder, and he has walked one batter, struck out 15, and has not allowed a single run. But here we are in the bottom of the fifth. Baylor looking to add some offense with Pearson Reebok and 7, 8, 9 digging in to face the righty.
Reebok earning the start over Hunter Toplansky, the opening day third baseman, but Mitch Thompson liking what he sees from the freshman. Second start of the year, and he's hitting north of 500.
3 for 5 to start off his campaign. Back the left side of the box, the first pitch from the windup, and Braybeck misses low and inside to the lefty Reebok. Braybeck up to 64 pitches, 39 of them strikes, 25 balls. Brings the black glove in front of his face. The windup he deals. A fastball up and away to push this count to 2-0. A large shift on this infield right now to the pull side for Reebok. Third baseman playing even with the bag at third, about 20 feet off the line. Here's the 2-0. Reebok watches another fastball sail by to move this count to 2-1. Just a get me over fastball from Braybeck there. Trying to get back into this count. The 2-1 delivery. Low and inside once more. It's 3-1.
Braybeck standing at 6'2", again, coming from Lynn Benton Community College, where he finished third in the conference in wins, ERA, and became a first-team all-conference starting pitcher.
3-1. He gets over again. Makes this count full. And interesting, doesn't get any appearances last weekend at UC Davis, wanting to save him for this first road start. payoff pitch. Reebok fights that one off deep down the left field line. It will twist foul. You think maybe a bit of a lower pressure situation if you're away from your home ballpark, far away from your home ballpark in Spokane?
Difference in competition level is obviously something you'd look at, and just instantly thrown against a Baylor lineup that is veteran heavy is a tough task for the sophomore, but he's obviously taken it in stride.
The 3-2 once more. Breaking ball that flutters in just above the zone. He doesn't get the call, and Reebok is on his way to first. A 7-pitch at bat winds up in a base runner for the Bears to start off this bottom of the fifth.
And I'm sure the Bears will see plenty of what this Gonzaga rotation looked like last weekend against UC Davis as we move into Saturday and Sunday. Eric Hoffberg, Justin Feld, and Peyton Graham all earned starts. Only Graham was able to go more than 5 innings, and the expected starting pitcher for tomorrow's contest.
Cortland Castle pulls the bunt back and watches a pitch go up and away. That was a stellar start last Friday by Peyton Graham, as you mentioned, who went 5 innings to pick up that win, but he's not slotted to start any games this weekend. Cortland Castle shows bunt once more. It's another pitch that misses everything up and outside. And now the catcher will go have a word with his pitcher. He's trying to calm the nerves a little bit as he's run into some trouble and hasn't gotten any help from his offense. But needless to say, Brabeck has done more than the job today. 72 pitches, 42 of them strikes, and this one a short meeting between Reese Sherman and Brabeck, and now a timeout will be taken by Baylor to talk things over with Cortland Castle.
And Brabeck was a guy who would consistently throw 100 pitches during his time at the community college level. Probably not something Gonzaga wants to do in his first appearance this year, but still no action in the bullpen, as he has been great, especially against these right-handed bats, and against 8 and 9, an opportunity to get your confidence back. But for Baylor, Cortland Castle, while he's not going yet, it's the guy right behind him, Tyreek Kemp, is.
Corners are in. Castle shows the bunt, pulls it back. The breaking ball misses low and inside. Brabeck wanted that call.
If I'm Castle, I don't even show bunt right here. Taking all the way, especially with a speedy runner at first base.
Reebok takes his lead, and now time is called. And it looks like is that a pitch clock violation?
Yeah, I call it pitch clock violation just because he had engaged with the rubber and stepped off, and because he had already taken a timeout previously in the at-bat. The new NCAA rules only allow one step off or timeout for the batter and pitcher. They had both already taken it. Brabeck stepped on, then disengaged, and although the pitch clock was at 11, it's an automatic ball and in a 3-0 count. That hands first base to Cortland Castle.
And now with runners on first and second, Tyreek Kemp digs in. We'll see if he decides to lay a bunt down. Corners are in. Both playing on the grass. Kemp shows the bunt, tries to lay it down, but misses it. Actually looks like he caught a piece of it and fouled it back. It's an interesting point that you bring up there, because that was something that Baylor fans were complaining about a week ago when one of the Youngstown State pitchers disengaged, never threw over to first base, but it wasn't a balk at the time because a timeout hadn't been called. Tyreek Kemp pulls the bunt back. The pitch is low and inside, nearly catches him on the back foot, and it's 1-1.
Although Kemp's in the 9-hole, not really the guy who you want at the plate bunting. Obviously shorter frame, but a lot of power on his bat. Already hitting .467 with 1 home run, so not being able to lay down the bunt, not the worst case scenario for Baylor.
The 1-1. He lays down the bunt. It's a little blooper down the third base line, fired across the diamond by Hankins in time to get Kemp there at first by a half a step. But a nice job by Hankins to follow it all the way. He could have maybe tried to let that one go foul. But nonetheless, the bunt attempt is successful for Tyreek Kemp, and Jack Little have 2 runners in scoring position.
Bulldogs were caught in the in-between, kind of like I was saying. It's the guy who's hitting for a really high average, but can lay down the bunt if he has to. They were playing on the dirt where the corner infielders, and that was a pop-up from Tyreek Kemp. Very dangerous play if they were expecting a bunt 100%, but because that wasn't the case, Bears get to advance the runners.
Little takes the first pitch that's in the dirt. It was a great block by Reese Sherman to keep it in front. So you're saying they might have thought that Kemp would pull the bunt back, kind of go for a slash play?
after already missing one bunt or foul tipping it, making very weak contact, and then almost going after another one that was low and in the dirt, a competitive pitch may not have been what they were going for, so the thought could be he could just swing away or fake this bunt opportunity.
The 1-0 to Little. Popped up high just beyond the infield. Shortstop Tukamoto says he has it just beyond the third base bag. He pulls it down for out number 2. So a massive out for Gabe Braybeck with runners on second and third. That's about the last thing that you want to do if you're Jack Little.
Saw a pitch you liked, though. Fastball high in the zone, just under it a little bit. May have expected breaking pitch, and if that was the case, it would have been sent pretty deep to the outfield, but didn't see the change in velocity as he would have expected.
And now Enzo Apodaca trying to make this more than just a 1-0 game against his former team. A righty on lefty matchup from the stretch. Braybeck kicks and fires a breaking ball low and inside. And Enzo Apodaca is off to a good start in this count, 1-0.
He's worked deep into the count against Brayback in each of his 2 plate appearances, one of which being a ground ball right back to the pitcher, and the other one a soft single.
1-0. Watches that one all the way through. A 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball that hits the glass, 1-1. Solid pitch from Braybeck to get back in the count. His 80th pitch. And now he comes set just above the belt. He fires. And that one plunks off of Enzo Apodaca's right leg. He's on his way to first. And that'll load him up.
Apodaca gets out of the way of that pitch. It may go all the way back to the backstop. It didn't feel like Sherman behind the plate had called an inside pitch to the left-hander as he was set up on the outside with his left foot forward more than his right. But obviously a hit by pitch is something Baylor will take, load the bases, and give yourself the opportunity to cash in with your best hitter at the plate.
Yeah, I think both sides will take it really with first base open. Chance to just face another batter and, pick your poison between Enzo Apodaca, Wesley Jordan at this point. But now you get a chance to call in your infield for Gonzaga, maybe give a chance for that right-hander to get a little bit more loose out there in the bullpen.
Brayback's done a nice job, but now you're facing 81 pitches all the way into the 5th inning again, and this is his first start at the Division I level. A little bit different than what he's faced before, and obviously not having that UC Davis series to feel his way into it, whether that be 2 innings or 3 innings.
Yep.
And the weather, the conditions, obviously not really an excuse, but it does. The court is a whole lot shorter when you're dealing with cold weather because you have to stay warm the entire time, and that's tough to do.
So the first pitch to Wesley Jordan is up and inside. It backs him up off the plate. Braybeck misses 1-0. Yeah, speaking of that, a flag in center field, blowing from right to left towards the left field corner. 1-0. Jordan grounds this one on the ground towards third. It'll be a race to the third base bag between Hankins and Castle, and he beat him. Sliding into the bag was Hankins, beat him with that all-red glove, just barely touching that before the left foot of Cortland Castle. So that'll put an end to the bottom of this 5th inning. The Bears will leave the bases loaded, but take a 1-0 lead into the top of the 6th. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting. Hey Bears!
We've played 5 at the Baylor Ballpark as the Bears lead Gonzaga 1-0. The first time these two clubs face each other in either either program's history. Of course, just in baseball, these programs have met before in other sports, but it's Ethan Calder who heads back out there for the top of the sixth frame. So far, 5 innings pitched, has allowed 2 hits, piled on those strikeouts, no walks for Ethan Calder, and he's going to stay out there and potentially continue in this ball game after his counterpart, Gabe Brabeck, possibly just ended his day in the bottom of the 5th inning. But it'll be the top half of this Gonzaga lineup that the lefty will face. After the 9-hitter, Sam Stem.
Benefit of 3 of the next 4 batters being left-handed pitchers, the opportunity to keep Calder out on the mound seems like a great choice for Mitch Thompson.
Working primarily from the stretch, he comes set with the glove at his belt, kicks and fires. It's off the end of the bat of Stem, lofted into center field. A lazy fly for Ty Johnson to have, and he gloves it for the first out of the top of the 6th inning. Sam Stem still looking for that first base knock today, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Tai Yukimoto.
And I will note the biggest difference between these two pitchers who have both been excellent. Ethan Calder is through 5 1/3, and he's thrown 56 pitches, whereas his counterpart is up to 82, only to get through 5.
First pitch to Yukimoto. This is low and outside. That's just the 19th ball thrown by Ethan Calder today. A minuscule ERA of 0.87 is 1-0. Yukimoto watches a breaking ball fall just in front of his belt at 76 miles an hour, even up this count at 1-1. Lots of action going on in that Gonzaga bullpen in right field. As Yukimoto digs in and watches another pitch sail beyond his right shoulder, he kind of had to turn in, trying to maybe get a call, say that one is a little bit more inside than it was, but at 75 miles an hour, it hits the zone, 1-2. Calder set. The payoff is a breaking ball, rolled foul down that first base line.
The opportunity to go backdoor and get these breaking pitches to move inside towards Yukimoto, especially on these left-on-left matchups, has been something that Ethan Calder has really, really strengthened since last season, where he had an ERA that was in the top 3 in the Big 12.
Payoff pitch once more. It's a fastball hit hard on the ground towards Jack Little, moving to his left. He gloves it, throws on the run to first in time to pick up the second out. 2 quick outs for Ethan Calder, and now 1 out away from completing his 6th inning of work here today. Josh Hankins stands in the way. Hankins, a frustrating start to his 2025 campaign. He's 1 for 14. And now with the closed-off stance from the right side, he awaits. First pitch. Breaking ball just beneath the bottom of the zone, 1-0.
And the slow start hasn't been a sign of poor quality contact. He's got a couple of hard-hit groundouts so far today, but just can't seem to get one over against Ethan Calder.
Now he launches this one towards the left center field alleyway. Wesley Jordan giving chase. He leaps, trying to get underneath that one, and he made the catch. How did Wesley Jordan hang on to that baseball? He goes airborne, trying to get underneath it and makes the grab. But now, before the Bears are able to vacate the field, Gonzaga thinks they're going to want to have a second look at that one.
Wesley Jordan, yeah, he's slamming his glove against his side. I think he thinks he caught that one, but he didn't have a great angle. The ball could have bounced on the grass and then slid into his glove as he went down. Not a great angle here, but Jordan had a bad read of that ball initially. He took a first couple steps backwards before storming in towards the plate and towards shallow left field. And like you said, he went airborne. And almost the instant he took off, he saw the ball hit the glove, held on as it went down, but did the ball touch the grass is what Gonzaga is asking. The entire Baylor defense is at third base, as if this will be a quick little replay review with no change to the third out of the inning.
Now Hankins staying at second base, too. He didn't want to leave. He thinks that that's going to be a base hit. It would be his second of the year. With the flag in center field blowing towards home plate, I mean, that's a ball that just kind of flutters up there and then dies. just as every single fly ball has today, pretty much.
Really high-quality contact again from Hankins, and it would be tough to go 0 for 3 with 3 really high-quality plate appearances at that. Even better play by Wesley Jordan out there, and Ethan Calder instantly kind of clapping his hands and pointing to Wesley Jordan, who he laid on the ground for a solid 5, 6, 7 seconds before showing the ball towards the umpire and getting the out call initially. And that's something that Jordan, you won't hear a lot about his defense, but that's something he's really had to pick up with the return of Hunter Simmons, Gavin Brzezowski. The DH spot isn't open for him, and if he wants to get those everyday reps, he's going to have to do it in left field, and showed why he is that left field guy.
Yeah, that was something that I was wondering going into the season, is how they're going to handle that left field situation. Of course, there were talks of Hunter Simmons getting the everyday starting job at first base, but with Gavin Brzezowski in the lineup, Simmons, you want that bat at the DH spot, so you have to give credit to Wesley Jordan. Somebody to stay in the lineup really had to get better at playing left field and has done just that. Still no decision yet from this umpiring crew. It was the first and third base umpires, I believe, who went into the Baylor dugout, back into the video room to take a look at these replays. Matt McKendry and Charles Bussey trying to figure it out. Taking a look at the replays here up in the booth. It's not too many different angles of that, just one angle from the home plate cam, and it looks really close. In super slow-mo, when they slow that instant replay down, it actually is really tough to tell if the baseball was able to stay in the glove as he was hitting the ground. It looks like he got under it initially, did Jordan, but it's a matter of if he was able to hold on as he fell down, kind of tumbled onto the grass. But this would be a huge play if you're Baylor, if you're Ethan Calder, a chance to get out of this inning. Keep that pitch count low. Here's a decision, and it is out number 3. What a grab from Wesley Jordan to put an end to the top of the 6th inning and rob Josh Hankins for what could have been his first hit of the day. So 1-0, the score remains as we head to the bottom of the 6th frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Have a day, Gabe Braybeck. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts on 85 pitches, and he will remain in the game to start off this bottom of the 6th inning. He'll face Hunter Simmons, Gavin Brzezowski, and Ty Johnson. 4, 5, and 6, the heart of this Baylor lineup, looking to extend their 1-0 lead. From the windup, the righty brings the black glove in front of his face and deals. It's a breaking ball inside to Hunter Simmons, 1-0.
And this start for Gonzaga, really big, as the bullpen was very solid against UC Davis. It was the starting pitching that actually kept them behind.
Simmons watches another ball go down low at 76 miles an hour, 2-0.
Statistician Aidan Pham said relievers in that series combined for nearly 12 innings and gave up just 6 hits and 2 runs while striking out 10 batters.
2-0 to Simmons. Low and away, he's ahead 3-0. Some great information from statistician Aidan Pham, bringing us the numbers on that Gonzaga bullpen, who is patiently waiting to get some looks in this ball game. But as of right now, it's Gabe Braybeck who fires a fastball up and inside and gets over top 3-1. And a tough day at the plate for Hunter Simmons. He's 0 for 2. 3-1. At the bottom of the zone, strike 2. I'd like to see Hunter Simmons be aggressive here at the plate on a 3-2 count. Now he launches this one over the shortstop's head and into left center field for a base hit. Heck of a battle by Hunter Simmons, and he wins it with a leadoff single to start off this 6th inning.
Bears had not had a base hit since the 2nd inning with one down when Pearson Reebok sent one up the middle. Of course, the Bears loaded the bases in the 5th inning, but that was 2 walks and a hit by pitch that did so. And it looks like the quality contact from Hunter Simmons is going to be enough for Gonzaga to turn to the bullpen.
So when we come back, Gavin Brzezowski will be facing the new pitcher in the game for Gonzaga. Runner on first, Hunter Simmons, will be the responsibility of Gabe Braybeck, who pitches 5+ innings, gives up 1 earned run, 3 hits on 91 pitches. We'll take a quick break from the Baylor Ballpark. Pitching change for Gonzaga as the Bears lead 1-0.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
New pitcher for Gonzaga is Ryan Hernandez. Lefty enters into this game with no gone in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be his 3rd appearance on the year. 2 appearances this past weekend at UC Davis. And he'll be facing the left-hand bat, Gavin Brzezowski. First pitch. Fastball, he laces it straight back and over our heads, out of play. So Ryan Hernandez starts off Brzezowski with a strike. As pitched 2 2/3 innings so far this season. No hits, no runs against, 2 strikeouts. Takes a look at the runner on first, kicks and deals. A breaking ball over the outer edge for a called strike 2.
At Cal Baptist last year, Hernandez a 1.55 ERA, 29 innings pitched, only allowed 5 earned runs across those with 20 strikeouts.
0-2 is a breaking ball that winds up in the righty batter's box. It'll be 1-2.
Most jarring stat for Hernandez, he's played summer ball twice in 3 years of NCAA baseball, and across Nearly 63 innings of work, only one home run allowed.
1-2 is fought off over the third baseman down the left field line, but just foul. About a foot to the left of the chalk down the left field line. Brzezowski nearly had a seeing eye. Well, potential single, maybe even double with the way that one was tracking.
Simmons had a good read on it and was already halfway towards second base. That's something base running for Baylor behind these bats has to be much better against, moving from the UTSA game. Baylor had a couple of base running miscues that cost them 2 to 3 runs.
1-2 to Brzezowski. Breaking ball just above the top of the zone, ball 2. Solid eye there from the newly minted starting first baseman. Makes this count 2-2. Hernandez from the stretch. Takes a look at first. Now he steps home. Fastball over the outer edge. Strike 3 called. Down goes Gavin Brzezowski. First batter Ryan Hernandez faces. He punches out. And there's one gone in the bottom of the 6th.
Not an overwhelming pitcher, but certainly finding the strike zone and sequencing his pitches really well early on is Ryan Hernandez, and has the benefit of facing 3 straight left-handed bats.
Johnson shows bunt, tugs it back. Corners were crashing in. It's a called strike 1, though. Trying to move a runner into scoring position with Simmons still on first. One gone in the bottom of the 6th. Corners playing even with their bags. Middle infielders back. Johnson not showing bunt this time. Takes the ball upstairs, 1-1. Hernandez holding batters to a 183 average across his 3 years of college baseball, continuing that at Gonzaga. Kicks and fires. Johnson rolls this one sharply on the ground towards second. Up with it, turning to second for one is Hudson Shoup. The turn to first is in time. A 4-6-3 double play to put an end to the bottom of the 6th inning. So Ryan Hernandez steps into the game for Brabeck and works quickly through the rest of the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-0, the Bears still lead. We played 6 from the Baylor Ballpark. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Three, 4, and 5 will face Ethan Calder in the top of the 7th inning. Calder remains out there having pitched 6 strong frames, has allowed 2 hits and no runs across for Gonzaga. An offense that has been silent throughout, but now a part of the order that hopefully for their sake can get the bats going. That's what Tommy Eisenstadt is trying to do right now as he digs in and watches a fastball nearly graze his right knee. But it's a called strike 1, the 65th offering from Ethan Calder, 44th strike.
Calder has thrown more than 6 innings pitched just twice in his career.
Next pitch. Rolled slowly towards the Gonzaga dugout. Foul, 0-2.
Career high is 7 innings pitched against UCF. He did that last year in a win, allowing just 2 runs on 4 hits, and then went 6 2/3 and earned the loss against TCU, allowing 4 runs on 8 hits in May.
Eisenstadt takes up and away, 1-2. Well, what a way to build on that first start for Ethan Calder after 13 strikeouts in 5 innings. Hasn't really had the K-ball as much today as this one's lofted down the left field line by Eisenstadt. Jordan giving chase. It bangs off of the left field foul wall there, kind of by the screen. And so they'll do it again at 1-2. Yeah, for Ethan Calder, maybe not as much strikeouts today, but has been equally as efficient and just mowing down these Gonzaga batters.
And he's never really been a stuff pitcher. He's a guy who throws strikes, really, really elite control and plus movement on his pitches, especially adding another breaking ball. It adds an element of movement to his repertoire that he didn't have before.
He fires, and now it's fouled straight back into the screen. Eisenstadt stays alive once more. Yeah, done a great job just hitting his spots, not trying to blow it by guys.
And the sequencing of being able to go from an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, then you feed in a 78-mile-an-hour changeup, and you get even slower 71 is hard to time.
Next pitch. This time he went 85 with the fastball, and Eisenstadt able to fight it off over the third base line.
And even more impressive when you're not gunning down batter after batter by way of strikeouts. He's about to throw his 70th pitch, and he's deep into this ball game already.
1-2. Off the end of the bat, hit sharply towards center field. Johnson giving chase. He'll let it fall, though. It'll be Wesley Jordan who picks it up in the alleyway. Now some more mishaps on the relay into the infield as the ball gets away from Tariq Kemp. No extra harm done, though, as Eisenstadt reaches first with nobody gone in the top of the 7th.
Pinch runner at first base for Gonzaga. Obviously, in a 1-0 ball game, you're going to do everything you can to be able to force in that game-tying run.
You know, you might think at this point, if you're managing this game, 2 runs could do it for you. Just trying to get that one across, make it a tie ball game, then anything can happen. But right now, it's a 1-pitch ball game. The pitch. Straight away into center field. Wind holds it up for Ty Johnson, who creeps to his right and pulls down the first out.
Moving back to the pinch runner, that being junior utility player Gage Mestis. Guy who's played everywhere on the infield and outfield for Gonzaga.
So here's Hudson Shoup, left-handed batter. Digs in. He's 7 for 15 on the season. Tough test for Ethan Calder here with 1 gone in the 7th. Takes a look at first, and he'll throw there. Diving back in safely with the right hand is Eisenstadt. Hudson Shoup owns the only home run for Gonzaga so far this season. Belting one at UC Davis this past weekend, but now he takes up and inside 1-0 on the first pitch he sees from Ethan Calder, who's up to 72 pitches, 50 of them strikes.
You're not going to see a whole lot of guys this year have left-on-left success against Ethan Calder, but Shoup is one of the few who can do that and has so far today.
Check back at first. Ball pops out of Brzezowski's glove, but in safely is Eisenstadt. Eisenstadt knocking the 3rd hit for Gonzaga today. Other 2 belong to the man at the plate, Hudson Shoup. We'll throw over again. This time Calder not going with the leg kick step over, but merely just stepping off with the left foot and chucking it towards Brzezowski. Trying to mix up that delivery over towards first base. Extending his lead is Mestis, the pinch runner, and he dives back in safely once more.
Obviously, with that pinch runner, you want to be a lot more thoughtful and careful of the man at first base. Brzezowski will be holding on Mestis, but you can also see Cortland Castle. Every time Calder comes set, he bounces up a little bit.
This time he moves home. It's a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Potentially a chance to keep Shoup on his toes a little bit, not knowing if he's going to throw over to first or throw home. That time the fastball looked like it could have crept up on him. It's 1-1. Calder kicks and fires home. It's a foul ball into the glove of Castle. Count will be 1-2. Had a solid pitch from Calder. Breaking ball low in the zone. Middle infielders pinch the bag at second. Reebok far off the line at third. Calder deals. Hard hit straight back up the middle. That sinks in for a base hit. Ty Johnson scoops it up, and Mestis will stay put at second. But Gonzaga, trouble brewing for the Zags in the top of the 7th inning. Runners are on first and second with one gone. Mikey Bell is digging in.
Action starting in the Baylor bullpen. Right-handed reliever starting to warm up. Just took off the jacket, so the leash on Calder isn't particularly slow, as Sean Snedeker going to come out and talk to Ethan Calder. Bell, again, hitless today. He steps up to the plate with a couple of flyouts. But obviously, after seeing back-to-back singles off of Ethan Calder, the goal is to warm up the bullpen, give a little bit of time. Next 3 batters being right-handed means that double play is as good as anything, but if you get the out with Mikey Bell, it's probably no better time to go to the bullpen.
Do you see a bunt opportunity even despite the designated hitter up right now, or no?
I would. A couple of flyouts, shallow center field. Bell, 2 for 13 on the year, hitting 154. Didn't have a particularly good year in 2024 either. You've got speed at second base, so any ball in play should theoretically score a run. So you're weighing how important is it to have the runner on third rather than second, and I think you swing away and you have just as good of a chance.
First pitch to Bell. 78 down the gut, and he kept that bat on his right shoulder, not showing the bunt.
There really is no benefit to bunting. I think the more I think about it, you've got speed at second, you've got speed at first. Any ball in the outfield scores a run.
0-1. Just beneath the zone. 1-1. Yeah, any ball that finds the outfield grass, definitely scoring 1 from second and potentially Shoop from first. Has some speed at first and a big lead. 1-1. High chopper on the ground towards Reebok. Moving from momentum to his left. Gets the first out at second. The turn to first is in time. Gonzaga wants to go to a review, but nonetheless, they get the out at second. A sharp turn by Jack Little and stretch by Gavin Brzezowski. We'll have to take a look at the replay to see if the Bears are able to escape this 7th inning unscathed.
Really nice play by Reebok, as he looked like he was stumbling and wouldn't be able to make a quick transfer. He actually did. It was Jack Little at second base who had an awkward transfer, had his foot in the middle of the base when the runner was sliding in there, so he couldn't really plant his foot and fire. And it looked like the bad throw actually forced Brzezowski off the bag from seeing it live. His foot may have left the base before the ball actually touched the glove, and he reconnected with the bag. But, of course, we'll get the review and see what happens. I think this probably gets overturned to you have the out at second, and you're dealing with 2 outs, runners on the corners. Nice stretch by Brzezowski, but Jack Little wasn't flexible enough to really move around his body and give a good throw to the first base bag from planting on second base itself. Wesley Jordan actually giving some pointers to Jack Little at third base, kind of the underhand sidearm toss in practice. Castle and Calder having a mound meeting at the same time.
Yeah, because if this ends up being overturned, you still got to think about the situation that you have right here. It'll be runners on first and third.
The replay review, the ball definitely beats the runner to the base, but I'm not sure Brzezowski is still in contact with the bag when the runner steps on first base. It's a bang-bang play, though.
With the call on the field in Baylor's favor, Gonzaga so far 0 for 1 today on reviews. First one being Wesley Jordan snatching a line drive from Max Coop to put an end to the 5th inning.
If the inning stays alive, there is not heavy action in the Baylor bullpen right now, so you have to assume Ethan Calder goes back out and tries to complete the rest of this top of the 7th inning. The batter would be the freshman Reese Sherman. Came into the game hitting .500, now at .417 after going 0 for 2 against Calder, but a hard hit ground ball to short and then soft contact right back to the mound.
You also might think this could be a time for whoever's warming up in left field to get even more loose. Even if you run into some trouble here, if you're Ethan Calder, can easily go straight to the bullpen if he starts off this count in a way that Mitch Thompson doesn't like, 2-0, 3-0, could always just go straight to the bullpen if he's ready.
And from our vantage point in the booth, we can see clearly Gonzaga bullpen. You've got two right-handed relievers warming up, but the grandstands kind of intentionally cover the Baylor bullpen in left field, but we can see the actual mounds, and we can tell if someone's warming up. There's a pitcher out there stretching, but there is no one heavily throwing as if they were gearing up to come into the ball game, which indicates to me that Calder probably stays there.
Mm-hmm. But the call on the field is reversed, so Ethan Calder is going to stay out there. And so, agree with you, Foster. Definitely looked like the throw was in time, but the stretch from Brzezowski just wasn't able to stay engaged with the first base bag. And so another chance presents itself to these Gonzaga Bulldogs. Reese Sherman is the batter. He's 5 for 12 so far on the season. Digs in from deep in the right-hand side of the batter's box. Slightly closed off stance. First pitch takes a big cut and miss at the first pitch he sees. It's 0-1. 79 on the off-speed pitch at the bottom of the zone. Runners are on first and third. Mestis takes a 8-step lead off that third base bag. Calder deals low and inside, grabbed by Castle, who looks the runners back to their bags. And the count will be 1-1.
Interesting to note, Gavin Brzezowski is holding the runner at first base, so if Ethan Calder sees the opportunity to pick off, he may.
Gives Mestis a chance to get an even bigger secondary lead as the next pitch is another breaking ball low and in. And a nice job by Castle to keep it in front. 2-1 the count.
Left-handed reliever working in the Baylor bullpen. That's a new arm that just started going.
Sherman with the silver bat just over his right shoulder. Here's the 2-1. Rolled on the ground towards Reebok, picks it up on 2 hops, throws on the run in time at first to put an end to the top of the 7th inning. The Bears stay in front 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th here on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
One nothing Baylor leads, moving into the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for these Baylor Bears.
End of the day for Pearson Reebok. Hunter Toplansky going to come in and pinch hit for the Baylor freshman. Interesting choice for Mitch Thompson. He doesn't like the left-on-left matchup. Reebok is 1 for 1 today. He's got a walk. He's got a run batted in. He's got a single. But opting to go with his switch hitting third baseman Hunter Toplansky instead of the hot hand in Pearson Reebok.
So Hunter Toplansky, after Pearson Reebok reaches base in both plate appearances, Toplansky awaits, watches a fastball go in front of his eyes for ball one. For Pearson Reebok, a nice job in the field as well today. Next pitch to Toplansky, backs him up off the plate, 2-0. Mainly that one we just saw a moment ago to put an end to the top of the seventh inning, scooping up a high chopping ground ball on the run and throwing on the run to complete the inning. But now the veteran Hunter Toplansky will dig in. 2-0. Down the heart of the plate. Mitch Thompson just trying to change things up. Baylor with just one hit since the second inning. It was off the bat of Hunter Simmons an inning ago. 2-1 the count from Ryan Hernandez to Toplansky. He fires. Misses upstairs, 3-1.
Toplansky, in 7 plate appearances this year, he's reached base once. Last season, 13 extra base hits, but he struck out 58 times compared to just 51 base knocks.
Fastball straight down the middle. He thought about swinging, but ultimately held up, and that brings this count to full. 6 balls, 8 strikes on 14 pitches for Hernandez. He comes set, kicks and deals. That misses up and away. And Hunter Toplansky is on his way to first with a leadoff walk, the third straight frame that the Bears have put on their leadoff batter.
And in all those, you've come up empty. Obviously, a dominant outing from the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs. Brabeck went 5+, only allowed 3 hits and 1 run. And you turn it over to the bullpen, it's not going to get much easier. But when you have that leadoff runner on, Mitch Thompson wants to see a little bit more effort to at least get them to third with 1 down and give the rest of the lineup a shot.
Here's Cortland Castle attempting the bunt. A little blooper towards the first base bag, scooped up by Eisenstadt, and he'll just step on the rubber there to complete the out. But a successful sacrifice bunt for Cortland Castle advances Hunter Toplansky into scoring position.
Mitch Thompson's going to have to do a bunting drill at least this week. The 2 bunts that Baylor's been able to put down are high pop-ups on the infield. Those are dangerous plays. That was nearly a double play at that. If the first baseman was expecting the bunt a little bit sooner, playing in on the infield green, he makes that catch and goes back to the bag, and there's no shot for Toplansky to get back.
Here's Tariq Kemp with the corners in. He watches a breaking ball fall low and outside, 1-0. Tommy Eisenstadt got the hit in the top half of this inning, but was pinch ran for. And now Jace Phelan is the new first baseman. The 1-0 to Kemp. Misses above his shoulders. It's 2-0 to the lefty. And so Ryan Hernandez, who is a highly touted pitcher coming into this season, struggling early on here. 9 balls, 9 strikes with 18 total pitches. Completely different from his first 2 appearances of the season. The 2-0 to Kemp is a fastball launched down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's scoring a run. It is fair. Kemp rounds the first base bag, heads for second. Toplansky scores from second base, and Tariq Kemp makes it a 2-0 lead for Baylor.
Having Tariq Kemp early in the season really find his stride is something head coach Mitch Thompson was very, very excited about. When you have a 9-hitter who can roll over the lineup and have someone on base for the guys you want to maximize, like Jack Little, like Enzo Apodaca, it makes this Baylor baseball team so much stronger. And Tariq Kemp was hitting about 150 for the first half of the season, really struggling at the plate. They didn't have a backup, and they wanted him to be at a point by the end of the season where he had confidence. Finished the year hitting 238. You saw power with a couple home runs, and now you're 5 games deep into this season. Kemp is hitting 500, and he's third on the team in base knocks. That's exactly what you want from your 9-hitter, and it could even boost him up in the lineup moving forward.
He's got an 8-step lead at the second base bag as the first pitch rattles off of the left leg of Jack Little. Staying in the batter's box. Tough to tell what happened there. Must have bounced up there and ball ended up around his feet. But it's a 1-0 count for Jack Little, who struggled at the plate today. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a pop-out on the infield. The 1-0. Hard hit roller towards shortstop. It's in and out of the glove of Yukimoto, and he has no play. E6 is the ruling. Yukimoto just can't come up with the baseball. He never had control of it. It ate him up as Jack Little reaches first, and he'll take it any way he can get it. So that'll put runners on the corners for Enzo Apodaca. Little 0 for 3 going into that AB. It's not going to go down as a hit, but must be nice for him to finally reach base today after a couple of tough battles out there.
A note from statistician Aidan Pham, Enzo Apodaca at the plate, former Gonzaga Bulldog. In 2022, he started every game for them and led them in just about every statistical category at the plate.
Ahead in the count, 1-0.
Led in hits, runs batted in, and doubles. Did the same thing, leading the team in hits for Baylor last year.
1-0 pitch from Ryan Hernandez. The lefty deals. It's fouled straight back into the screen. 1-1 to Apodaca.
I'd like to say statistician Aidan Pham probably catches that ball if we've got the windows open.
Definitely. Out of the crouch, too. Runners are on the corners. Fake steal. Little takes off from first. Hernandez disengages, now turns and throws towards the third base bag. And we've seen that play before where Jack Little takes off from first as Hernandez is set, but Hernandez handling that situation pretty well. Lets Little take the second base bag and doesn't take a balk. A solid job to stay composed by Ryan Hernandez, but the Bears now have 2 runners in scoring position. Infield in, Apodaca laces one down the right field line and foul.
Bears have already plated 1 run in the inning. You can grab a couple more and score Little and Kemp from second and third respectively. Mitch Thompson could be favorable to leaving Ethan Calder out there for another inning. Only 82 total pitches for Calder.
1-2 to Apodaca. He reaches out over the plate, lifts this one into straightaway center field. Coop starting back, makes the grab. Taking off from third is Tariq Kemp, and he will score. Enzo Apodaca makes it a 3-0 game on the deep sacrifice fly, and the Bears add an extra bit of insurance here in the 7th inning.
It's quality hitting, playing into what the situation allowed. Apodaca wanted to put the ball in the outfield no matter what the result be, and uses a plate appearance to plate the 3rd run of the game for the Bears.
Still a chance to do more damage for Wesley Jordan, runner on second base. 8-step lead for Jack Little. The first pitch from Martinez misses outside. Hernandez in the left-hand batter's box. That one not even close. And Hernandez, big reason as to why he is struggling really in this inning as he takes a look back at second. And Little dives into the bag safely. Starting off these at-bats with balls, has not been able to find the zone very often with that first pitch. So automatically putting the batter in the driver's seat, and he has done so again here against Wesley Jordan, who's 0 for 3. The 1-0. And that one misses low and outside. 2-0. Well, for Wesley Jordan, similar start to the day as Jack Little. Pair of strikeouts and then was able to reach on a fielder's choice, but still a relatively frustrating day for the power-hitting righty. Hits that one hard on the ground towards shortstop. Yukimoto can't quite handle it. Has to scramble and throw off of his back foot. It's not in time at first. So the tough inning continues for Tai Yukimoto at shortstop. And the Bears will have runners on the corners for Hunter Simmons.
Currently ruling it an E6, but Wesley Jordan hit that ball at 106 miles an hour on the nails to short. Yukimoto went down to a knee to try and field it. It bounces off his chest. He picks it up, but just didn't have enough time to fire to first after that.
Jordan takes his lead off of first. Little off third. Pitch from Hernandez. Breaking ball right down the middle. Strike 1 to Hunter Simmons. A much-needed first pitch strike for Hernandez. Brings a baseball into his mitt and fires as Simmons fouls that one off of the glove of Sherman. And it rolls back to the backstop. Lights are on at the Baylor Ballpark. Outfield playing straight up. 2 are gone with runners on the corners, and Hunter Simmons up against it at 0-2. Ryan Hernandez comes set. Black glove just above his belt. He peeks at first, now fires. A ball upstairs at 74 miles an hour. 1-2. He's up to 31 pitches. 17 of them have been strikes. Runner held on at first. The 1-2. Simmons hits it hard down the third base line and nearly catches Jack Little by his ankles. He's able to get out of the way. It goes far down into the left field corner, and Hunter Simmons stays fighting at 1-2. That one 97.7 miles an hour off the bat. Simmons, the righty, waving that silver-barreled bat over his right shoulder. The 1-2 pitch. He reaches out over home plate and lifts it foul high over the right side and out of play. So for Hunter Simmons in Game 4 last season, a grand slam right here at the Baylor Ballpark. 3 days later, his season ended. Next pitch. He checks his swing. It's down in the dirt. He'll appeal to first. He did not go, says Chris Booker. Heck of a battle brewing here between Simmons and Ryan Hernandez.
Wesley Jordan stayed in between first and second, tried to bait a throw, and instead just swipes the second base bag as Gonzaga was having no part of it. Just focusing on the task at hand is Ryan Hernandez. He kicks and fires. Breaking ball lifted high and twisting towards right field. Under it is Sam Stem, and he pulls it down for the third out. So the Bears will leave 2 runners in scoring position, but not before grabbing 2 runs of insurance to put an end to the bottom of the 7th inning. They lead it 3-0 as we go to the 8th. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Through 7 innings at the Baylor Ballpark, the Bears lead it 3-0 over Gonzaga. As a new pitcher will enter into the game for the Bears, Stephen Stahl getting his second appearance of the 2025 campaign, and that is the end of the line for Ethan Calder. And what a phenomenal day out there on the rubber for Ethan Calder, and somehow building upon his first appearance, Foster.
Pure execution, and he did it in a completely different way. Kept the pitch count low, went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Just filled up the strike zone, did everything that was asked of him, got out of every jam, and through the course of it, picked up 4 1-2-3 frames.
The lefty Stahl fires. Bunt is shown by Max Coop, but he tugs it back and takes a strike 1.
In the only appearance of the year for Stahl, on the weekend, he threw 1 inning and struck out 2 batters.
0-1 pitch. Rolled slowly just in front of the bump. Stahl out to get it. He'll run it over towards Gavin Brzezowski at first and underhand flip it to him there for out number 1.
Similar fashion to last week, actually. Stahl was the second guy out of the bullpen, rather, after Ethan Calder. So this could be a combination that Mitch Thompson likes. He went to Carson Bailey first before turning it over to Stefan Saul. And now that Bailey is your midweek starting pitcher, the opportunity for a different look on the left side of the mound is something Baylor could toy with.
6'2" lefty deals. That ball finds the dirt on the first pitch to Sam Stem, 1-0. Now we'll see if this can bridge the gap nicely into the closer here before the ninth inning. A 3-0 lead for the Bears as the next pitch is a fastball on the outer edge. This one called a ball 2. Infield, outfield playing straight up. The lights are on at the Baylor Ballpark. Overcast skies overhead. And the 2-0 offering is a fastball that gets over the top of home plate, 2-1 against Sam Stem. He's 0 for 2 today. Pair of flyouts to Ty Johnson in center. Lefty on lefty matchup as Stahl deals. That one rolled sharply on the ground towards Jack Little. He's in perfect position to field that one and throws on to first in time to get out number 2. So Stahl quickly works through Max Coop and Sam Stem, and now the lineup card flips back up to the top for Tai Yukimoto.
Baylor picked up the first shutout since 2023 against UTSA on Tuesday night with a 5-0 victory, and still 4 outs to pick up, but take some research to find the last time Baylor had back-to-back shutouts in a season.
I'm going to guess 2016.
Couldn't have been with Mitch Thompson at the helm. He's only done it once, have the Bears with Mitch, so I would assume it's somewhere around that range. We've got statistician Aidan Pham on it.
First pitch to Yukimoto is in the zone for strike 1. Baylor holding Youngstown State in the second game on Saturday, scoreless in the final 2 frames. As a bunt is showed by Yukimoto, he tugs it back, is running up the first base line to get out of the way of that pitch. Nearly caught him upstairs. It's 1-1. But of course, you mentioned the shutout on Tuesday night, 9 scoreless frames. It was 11 scoreless innings put together by Baylor pitching going into this matchup, as there's a big swing and a miss from Yukimoto. And he is down in the count. Count evens up at 1-1. Infield shifted slightly to the pull side for the lefty Yukimoto. Next pitch. Reaches out over the plate, slowly rolls it towards Hunter Toplansky at third. He throws from the infield grass in time at first to pick up the third out. So Stefan Stahl walks into this game in the top of the 8th inning, works him 3 up, 3 down, and protects a 3-0 lead for the Bears. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, you're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Gavin Brzezowski will lead things off for the Bears. So far today, 0 for 2 with a walk back in the second inning, flew out to right field and then struck out looking. And he will be facing the new pitcher that enters into this ballgame. It'll be Kai Francis, the 6'4", 210-pound senior right-handed thrower out of Bainbridge Island, Washington. Making his first appearance of the 2025 season after appearing in 10 games in 2024 at a 13.5 ERA. Across 9 1/3 innings, gave up 14 earned runs. The tall righty from the slow windup, he deals the first pitch breaking ball that Brzezowski fans over and falls behind in the count 0-1. Perfectly located pitch on the first one from Francis. Third baseman playing in on the grass as that one's lifted past the outstretched arms of Yukimoto into center field for Gavin Brzezowski, his first hit of the day, improving to 1 for 3, turning that one straight back around from where it came from to lead off the bottom of the 8th. So make it 4 straight innings where the Bears have put their leadoff man on, and it brings up Ty Johnson. Johnson is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Also grounded into a double play. Fights this one off through the hole in the right side of the infield. It sinks in for a hit. Ty Johnson reaches for the first time today, and just like that, the Bears have runners on first and second with nobody gone in the 8th.
Closer working in the bullpen for Baylor, that being Gabe Craig and Will Glatch, both throwing in the bullpen. Thompson did say that planned on Gabe Craig being that guy, but if he runs into a road bump, nice to have some backup.
Glatch has really been that guy since he got here. Guy who just kind of goes out there to stop the bleeding, get 1, maybe 2 outs. But before then, Hunter Toplansky launches this one through the right side of the infield, and that sinks in. Brzezowski will get held up at third, and the bases are loaded for Cortland Castle. So it's nearly an identical base knock to the pitch just before that to Ty Johnson. Line drive through that 4-3 hole. And now Cortland Castle, who has kind of been tasked with laying down a couple of bunts today, now gets a chance to swing away with the bases juiced.
Yeah, all you're looking for is insurance. Put the ball in the outfield. Probably don't want to double trade, but I think you'd trade 2 outs for a run at this point, leading by 3 with only 3 outs to get.
Pitch. Castle attacks the first pitch he sees, sends a twisting fly ball down the right field line, and it is just foul. Landing on the warning track dirt about 3 or 4 feet to the right of the chalk. Could have touched down and scored at least 2 runners for the Bears, make this a 5-0 game. But he'll slowly walk back to the batting circle.
Not a great start to the season for Kai Francis. First 3 batters he's faced, he's only thrown through just 4 pitches to them and allowed 3 base knocks.
14 earned runs, 17 hits across 9 1/3 innings a season ago. Francis trying to right the ship, but off to a rocky start, as you mentioned. Castle takes a fastball upstairs, 1-1. But 90 on the gun from Francis, and that's really not something that Baylor has seen today. Going from Braybeck, who was in the upper 80s, to Hernandez, right there too. And the next pitch to Castle misses low and outside on the breaking ball at 85 miles an hour. 2-1 the count to the catcher. He's 1 for 7 on the season, has driven in a run, 1 successful sacrifice bunt today. And the next pitch. Reaches out over the plate, slowly rolls this one to Yukimoto at short. He flips to second for 1, relayed to first is in time. They got him. Brzezowski will come in and score from third to make it a 4-0 game, a productive AB for Cortland Castle. And there are 2 gone.
Won't get credited with an RBI, but it was really hard contact towards shortstop. Yukimoto has not been playing his best defense at short today. Comes up with it at an important time and couldn't ask for much more for Cortland Castle. First fist bump as he walks into the dugout comes from head coach Mitch Thompson.
Mitch Thompson got to appreciate his guys trying to win games in pretty much any way they can. Pitch is outside. You have to like what this team has done late in this game, where even despite the offense being stagnant, still able to get guys on base and able to bring guys around and score them. Get some extra insurance, as we've seen in the 7th and 8th innings. Next pitch to Kemp. Backs him up off the plate, 2-0.
Well, to back up your point, Joe, all of this is happening at the bottom half of the lineup. You start off the 5th inning with 2 walks, and that comes from the 7 and 8 hitters. Then in the 7th inning, 7 hitter gets a walk, 9 hitter knocks him in, and you start that off again here in this frame.
Kemp fouls this one off to the Gonzaga dugout on the first base side.
If you're not just relying on your Enzo Apodaca, Wesley Jordan, Hunter Simmons trio, this lineup can be extremely explosive, and that's what they've showed late in this ballgame.
Mitch Thompson said that after the Youngstown State series, how powerful this lineup is, 1 through 9. Now rolled on 2 hops to first base, knocked down by Phelan. He underhand flips to first. Covering the bag there is Francis to complete the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Bears are retired on the ground ball by Tariq Kemp. Not before picking up 1 extra run of insurance. They lead it 4-0 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Bears looking to win their 5th straight when we return. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Four to nothing, Baylor leads as we move into the top of the 9th inning. Stephon Stahl will stay out there on the bump, trying to complete these final 3 outs and win a 5th straight game to start off the 2025 campaign for Mitch Thompson and these Baylor Bears. Stahl delivers a first pitch low and inside to Josh Hankins, who backs up out of the way of it and takes a 1-0 advantage in the count. He's 0 for 3 today. Couple of ground outs and a fly out. He awaits. And Hankins takes strike 1 right down the heart of the plate at 87 miles an hour.
One of the few opportunities you'll see Mitch Thompson give 2 innings of relief to a player to close the ball game, but a save chance for Stahl.
This one launched into straightaway center field, taking Johnson back towards the track. He settles under it and makes the grab for out number 1. Little to no wind up there, relatively routine play for Ty Johnson. Flag in center field, completely motionless as there's 1 gone in the top of the 9th, and now Jace Phelan digs in. It'll be his first at-bat of the day. He replaced Gage Mestis, who replaced Tommy Eisenstadt, who singled in the 7th inning. The pitch. Inside on the big lefty, he takes 1-0. Phelan is 0 for 3 on his young season. The 1-0 from Stahl. Fastball in the upper part of the zone. It's 1-1. Stahl, the tall lefty on the third base side of the rubber, kicks and fires. Fastball low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike to Phelan. Stahl coming off of a season at McLennan County Community College where he racked up 99 strikeouts and a 5-0 record. Now gets back over the top on Phelan. It's 2-2. 3.21 ERA across nearly 34 innings pitched for the lefty. And now he comes set with the black glove. The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Cortland Castle, and this counts run full. Now in the 18th pitch from Stahl, 7 balls, 11 strikes. And he comes set with the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, tipped into the glove of Cortland Castle, and the Bears are 1 out away from winning their 5th in a row.
Another shot to fire the ball around the horn that just goes errant as Cortland Castle fired it over the head of Hunter Toplansky and almost into the lap of Wesley Jordan in left field, but doesn't count against him. 1 out to go. That's all you got to worry about.
Vincent Temesbury digs in. Fastball over the outer edge, called a strike 1. First baseman Brzezowski playing about 20 feet off the line at first. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 79 miles an hour from Stahl. Pulled the string on the breaking ball, and he's ahead 0-2. Stahl comes set, working quickly, the pitch. And Temesbury barely fights that one off. Stay alive at 0-2.
Baylor's only allowed 4 hits today, and they've only struck out 3. A lot of this has just been the defense staying consistent behind the pitching staff firing strikes.
0-2. Fouled away. Just barely got a piece. I like the way that Stefan Stahl has just been attacking hitters. Pounding the zone with these fastballs. 7 balls, 16 strikes, and he's ready with the 24th. The 0-2, here it comes, popped up high on the infield. Jack Little under it. Says he's got it at normal depth second base. He pulls it down for out number 3. And for the first time since 2019, the Bears are 5-0 to start off a season. 4-0 they take down Gonzaga, and the hot start continues for the Bears.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Joe, but that's 20 consecutive innings of shutout baseball by the Baylor pitching staff. Back-to-back shutouts, and then the last 2 against Youngstown State. And, first time with back-to-back shutouts since April 1st. That was like 2017. You look at that, and this team can do some damage if you keep letting them consistently get action.
You like to see, if you're Mitch Thompson, winning games in many different ways. Today it wasn't 16 runs like they were able to beat Youngstown State by last weekend. Today, 4-0 win. It was the pitching throughout that was solid. And you got to really like the way that the defense played as well, which is not something that Mitch Thompson was too happy about after the Youngstown State series a week ago. But you like the way that this Baylor team has started off the season at home. 4-0. A victory against Gonzaga here today to improve to 5-0 on the season. Gonzaga falls back to 1-3. That's going to do it for us here in the broadcast booth. We appreciate you joining us and spending a little bit of your Friday afternoon with us here in the broadcast booth. From a broadcast partner, Foster Nicholas, for our statistician, Aidan Pham, for Lariat writer, Aidan O'Connor, I have been Joe Pratt. We appreciate you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the Baylor Ballpark.